We'll call on Ms. Rakisa of Social Watch Philippines.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, the Senate Committee on Finance, and fellow CSO colleagues. I speak on behalf of Social Watch Philippines and our partners under the Alternative Budget Initiative. This is a coalition of more than 100 civil society organizations, many of whom represent the poor and marginalized groups, who for nearly 2 decades, we have been working to promote citizens' participation in the national budget process. Since the 13th Congress, we have secured tangible gains by working closely with members of Congress and the executive, so that we were able to secure tangible gains in raising the budgets for health, education, social protection, as well as child protection. However, since we were only invited yesterday, we were not able to prepare a PowerPoint presentation. Nevertheless, our intervention today has 2 parts. First, we will present our observations and recommendations on the worsening problem of graft and corruption and the urgent need for transparency, accountability in the budget process, including improving public ethics. However, second, we present ours and our partners' budget proposals in education, health, social protection, and child and mental health. Since the good senator has mentioned, if we free up public funds from certain items, where can it be reallocated? It is in that regard that we will make concrete proposals.
Promise.
The Social Watch Philippines Youth Group urged senators to pass the Universal Healthcare Bill along with Senate Bill 1605 or the excise tax on tobacco products. The group stressed that the Senate should support the passage of the 2 bills to boost the country's healthcare. Charlie Barredo will tell us why.
The members of the Social Watch Philippines Youth Group gathered outside the Senate building on Tuesday to urge senators to pass the Universal Healthcare Bill. The group stresses that the passage of these 2 bills should be prioritized in order to boost the healthcare in the country, especially to those who do not have access nor the means to get proper healthcare.
Ngayon po kasi hindi pa rin siya nagaganap na batas at naniniwala kami na kailangan po ito ng mga mamamayan, lalong-lalo na ng mga nasa laylayan ng lipunan na walang kapasidad na pumunta sa mga ospital, no?
According to Del Polanco, the SWP Youth Group coordinator, there are many flaws in the current universal healthcare system in the country that the government should address. He stressed that the passage of this bill will enable the public to get checkups before their condition worsens. Polanco also underscored herbal medication in the provinces is still being practiced and that prescriptions are being given to anyone even without conducting checkups. The SWP Youth Group also called on the lawmakers to approve Senate Bill 1605 or the excise tax on tobacco products. The group also adds that cigarette taxes should be increased and be utilized as funds for universal health care.
Yes, we're pushing for tax tobacco to the max and so far, sa ngayon po ang sinusuportahan po namin yung pinakamataas na proposal yung kay Senator JV na 90 pesos increase sa per pack ng mga sigarilyo.
Si Dr. Maria Victoria Raquiza, ang co-convener ng Social Watch Philippines kasama natin. Ma'am, live kayo sa RMNDZ XL Manila, si Lourdes po ito. Doktora? Yes, ma'am, si Lourdes po ito. Kumusta po?
Okay naman. Naririnig mo ba ako ng maayos?
Opo, ma'am. Loud and clear. Ma'am, okay. Tanong ko lang po muna sa inyo, no? Nakikita niyo ba yung mga pagdinig ngayon kaugnay sa budget, particular sa Vice President? Kasi sa Vice President's Office, ma'am, opinion niyo lang, no? Tinatanong siya, para sa kanyang budget pero ayaw niyang sabihin kung saan po napupunta, etc. etc. Meron po kayong hiling na sana po kayo maimbitahan din sa mga pagdinig ng bicameral committee kaugnay po sa mga budget. Why, ma'am?
Can you ask your question again? Napakabilis. Pakibanggit ulit.
Ma'am, kayo po ay dumadaluho ba sa mga pagdinig sa bicameral?
Actually, the bicameral conference committee meetings are held behind closed doors. Hindi yan ino-open sa publiko. At walang mga public available official recordings yan. Kaya madami kaming agam-agam kasi hindi namin alam anong nangyayari at pinag-uusapan dyan sa bicam na yan. At madaming deals ang nangyayari.
Okay, ma'am, sa madaling
So
salita.
we're not invited to that sa mga meetings na yan. Hindi kami pwedeng pumasok. At ang panawagan pa nga namin ay buksan na yung bicameral conference committee para maging transparent at accountable ang mga legislators natin.
Ma'am, ano po ang tugon ng ating mga opisyal?
Ano ang tugon?
Sinubukan na po ba ninyo, ma'am, na ilapit yung inyong hinaing na sana yung mga katulad niyo pong grupo ay papasukin kahit makinig man lamang sa mga ganitong usapin para malaman po ninyo kung saan po napupunta yung mga budget o et cetera na mula po sa pera ng bayan?
Actually, madami mga bills, mga panukala tungkol sa citizens' participation sa budget process. At nagpa-participate at na-invite din naman kami dito sa paggawa ng bill na to at lagi namin nilalagay doon na i-open up na ang bicameral conference committee meeting sa publiko at i-invite ang mga NGOs, mga people's organizations para ma-observe din namin at kung pwede nga gawin pa nga kaming resource persons paminsan-minsan kung yung topic ay may na naman kaming posisyon at sasabihin. Pero walang nangyayari sa mga panukala na to at nabubuhay at namamatay sa kongreso na yon habang so panibago na naman Congress, panibagong bill. It's been it's almost a decade. Yung citizens' participation sa budget bill ay talagang walang traction Walang pumipick up at hindi nagiging batas. Kaya yung problema namin, ilang beses na at madami na kaming nakausap na legislators. Ang problema, hindi siya nagkakaroon ng traction sa loob ng Kongreso. Dinededma lang kami at best. Minsan nga masama pa ang tingin sa amin ng ilang mga kongresista kasi very jealous sila sa power of the purse. Tingin nila that is really their purview at hindi maganda ang siguro hindi ko alam, no? But ayaw nilang ibuksan yung budget making process.
Ipaglaban ang universal healthcare ngayong umaga po na hindi tayo nandito para sa sarili natin. Nandito tayo para sa taong bayan, para ipaglaban ang kanilang hanapbuhay at ang kanilang kalusugan. Isama rin natin yung ating mga minamahal na magsasaka. Pinaglalaban din natin nila. Kailangan malaman nila bakit ba sila binabarat ng tobacco company, di ba? Bakit tuloy ang kita ng tobacco company pero naghihirap ang mga magsasaka? Hindi yan dahil sa buwis. Yan ay dahil sa mga tobacco company. So, palakpakan ho natin ang mga ating kasamang magsasaka sa kabila ng daan. So, marami hong batas na ginagawa sa Senado at sa Kongreso. Napakaraming batas para sa kalusugan. May batas para sa cancer. May batas para sa mental health. May batas para sa AIDS. May universal health care. Pero lahat po ito, salita lang at laway lang kung hindi natin lalagyan ng laman. At ang laman na kailangan ilagay sa lahat ng batas na ito ay ang tobacco tax bill. Ito ho ang mother of all health bills. Kung hindi ho natin maipasa ang pagtaas ng buwis sa sigarilyo, sayang lang ho lahat ng ibang batas para sa kalusugan. Kaya ituloy natin ang paglaban. Hindi po ito matatapos today. Tuloy-tuloy po ito sa darating na mga araw at sa mga darating na taon. Mabuhay po ang Pilipinas!
Hello everyone! So ngayon, ito yung pilot episode natin for this year, 2026. At makakasama po natin ang one and only
Miss Maria Victoria Marivic Marivic Raquiza, friend, colleague, co-advocate, etc. Mother, wife, and professor. At mamaya, mas papakilala pa natin siya.
Ayan. So, ngayon, pag-uusapan po natin ang patungkol sa mainit-init pa na issue ngayon na alam naman natin na halos lahat ng mga Pilipino ngayon ay
Nakamonitor.
nakatutok. Yes, nakamonitor. At ini-evaluate din talaga whether individual ka man or an NGO or like a private firm at the same time. So, kasi importante to kasi pag-uusapan natin ay kaperahan or budgeting kumbaga.
Ang
At,
yaman ng
yes,
Pilipinas.
kaban ng bayan.
Kaban ng bayan. So para po sa episode na to, maswerte tayo na ang makakausap natin, makakakwentuhan natin sa conversation na ito ay isang susing tao sa national budget advocacy sa ating bansa. At siya ay co-convenor ng Social Watch Philippines. You should know Social Watch Philippines. Pero papakilala din natin ng mamaya. At ang Social Watch Philippines ay nag-spearhead, nagli-lead ng Alternative Budget Initiative or ABI. At yan yung isang tugon sa binabanggit ni Berna kanina tungkol sa issue on our national budget. So si Marivic po, Maria Victoria, Marivic Raquiza, ay ang co-convenor ng Social Watch Philippines. She's also, at the same time, professor at the UP Diliman National College for Public Administration and Governance or NCPAG. Yan po ang kanyang kolehiyo kung saan siya nagtuturo. Hindi nag-aaral, although mukha siyang estudyante, pero siya ay pero siya ay nagtuturo sa NCPAG. Ms. Marivic, you may want to greet our...
Yeah. So hi everyone. Excited ako to be having this conversation with Kai and Berna in my house.
Tama pala!
So our backdrop are the UP Gardens.
Yes.
And anyway, I'm also proud to be a former colleague of PRRM. No, I was there practically fresh out of college, and so my baptism years in the world of work, particularly development work, was with PRRM. So napakayaman ang experience ko talaga sa field work. Tinapon ako sa North Cotabato, although nagkasama din kami ni Kai sa Ifugao.
Oh, yeah!
Sa Ifugao. Yeah. And then North Cotabato siya.
Nagkatabato din. After you.
After me.
After
me.
you.
Yes.
Oo nga pala.
Diba?
Predecessor kita.
Yes, yes.
So, full circle
Oh,
mo.
full
Yeah.
circle. Dito na ulit kaming dalawa.
Oo nga.
Oo nga, yes. Oo po, si Marivic ay itinapon. Pero doon naman siya
Actually,
nag-flourish.
ni-request ko
Okay.
ang hardship post sa Mindanao.
Para ako, ni-request ko rin.
Oh, diba?
Ifugao post.
I know, exactly.
Hardship post. na
Mga
talaga.
hardship post, but that's where you really grow.
Right.
Diba?
Right.
Kasi you're out of your regular comfort zone.
And where you test your limits.
yes, yes.
So,
Yung
yeah.
mga Manila girl ka ba?
Yeah.
Yung mga Manila City girls, tapos tinamon kami sa rural area.
Oh, yeah.
So sink or swim.
And
Happily,
we swam.
swam.
We swam.
Yeah.
Hanggang ngayon, nagsiswimming pa rin kami.
Exactly.
Yeah. At ang siniswimmingan namin ngayon ay ang budget advocacy. Recently, nung January
January 8 po.
January 8, nung nag-workshop ang Social Watch, All ABI ang tawag
Yeah.
natin, All ABI. Papaliwanag ni Marivic mamaya kung bakit All ABI. At yun pong mga nangyari, mga naging highlights, mga naging talakayan nung araw na yun, nung workshop na yun, ang pag-uusapan namin ngayon at ikukwento namin, isi-share namin sa inyo para magkaroon tayo ng mas pag-unawa sa ating mga budget issues, hindi lamang mula sa napapanood natin sa mga hearings na naka-televise, kundi coming from the perspective of many types and strands of NGOs and civil society organizations na nagtatrabaho with communities para sa mga real development programs which need support and budgets from our departments, from our executive. At yan ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon. So, Marivic, what is SWP or Social Watch Philippines and what's ABI?
Right. So the Social Watch Philippines is really just a network, no, of various CSO groups who came together 1996. Ang ABI ang 2006. Yeah.
Landmark year to this year.
2026.
Oh,
Yeah.
diba?
Alam mo, ikaw nag-point out. We should tell the others in Social Watch.
And celebrate.
Exactly, because there is much to celebrate. So, ang Social Watch Philippines was born in 1996, 97.
Okay.
The prelude to its birth was the UN Conference on the World Summit for Social Development. Diba,
In
WSSD. That was in 95.
95. Okay.
It held in 95. But prior to 95, there were a series of
Right.
preparatory conferences.
Right.
94 leading to the March Copenhagen Conference or the World Summit for Social
95.
Development in 95. And PRRM actually was an active participant, no?
In the person of, represented by,
Boy Morales, Dani Serrano,
Yeah.
and a couple of others. They not only helped develop the Philippine agenda for the World Summit for Social Development, but they also spearheaded the Asia-Pacific agenda for social development. We set up the People's Alliance for Social Development in Asia-Pacific. And we had a big conference in 94 or 95,
Asia Pacific.
Asia-Pacific, which was hosted in Manila, in particular by PRM.
Oh.
And we created a coordinating committee of other CSOs, but the secretariat was PRM. And we crafted an Asia-Pacific agenda for social development.
Okay.
And so, it was that Asia-Pacific agenda that we presented for the World Summit, including our country-level agenda. So basically, the thematic areas around that social summit, it was really around social development. And,
Wala pang SDGs, no?
wala pa.
Oo.
Wala pang MDGs.
Wala pa MDGs.
Wala pang MDGs, which is the precursor of the SDGs. This was just around social development. And, the things that we were pushing for was social cohesion, social solidarity, issues around full employment, and things like that. So we're working closely with DOLE, the Department of Labor. We were working very closely with NEDA, because they were the ones crafting the integrated plan around that, and many others. And we got ourselves invited, Boy Morales in particular, as a member of the official Philippine delegation to Copenhagen. So, PRM played a very central role. And when we got there were many other CSOs involved, including the Freedom from Debt Coalition.
Oh, yeah, right.
And that was represented by Professor Leonor Briones, or Liling Briones. And so, after the World Summit for Social Dev, the CSOs who really actively engaged that process said, now that it's done, we need to monitor our Philippine government's fulfillment of their commitments of the World Summit. So we said we need to create a global citizens watchdog with various country-level representatives. And that coming together gave birth to Social Watch.
Global pa yun.
International.
International.
Yes,
Right.
and the secretariat was located in Montevideo, Uruguay, headed by Roberto Bisho.
Oh, I met him.
You met him, yeah. He's really nice, warm, super smart,
Lolo types.
Uruguayan. Yeah. At the time, di pa siya
Hindi
lolo.
pa.
Medyo youngish pa siya.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, he's always had this fatherly, now grandfatherly aura. Yeah, exactly. And so, Sina Roberto had a chat with Liling Briones, Gani, and a couple of others to form the Philippine Social Watch. Right?
Were we the first
So, yeah.
country level social watch?
There were others. Oo. There were others. But so, so social, so PRRM, Action for Economic Reforms,
FTC.
Sina Men Santa Ana, Liling, they all came together with Bell there's a Bell from Oxfam. there was an Oxfam office at that time.
Oo.
No, it was a no-bib office rather. A
Haiko?
no-bib office. Bell Haiko. I'm not sure. But a Bell Padilla. We all came together to form Social Watch.
Philippines.
Yes. So, and then the group decided to invite other CSOs, no, to monitor Philippine government's fulfillment of the World Summit for Social Dev commitments. And then by 2000, nanganak sa global agenda ang MDGs. All of the
right.
attention, policy traction, and resources pumunta sa MDG, and the Philippine government had incorporated all of these
Right.
global commitments into this MDGs. So Social Watch felt it was the right thing to do to use the MDGs as a platform. There, kasi it was a continuation of our social development commitments, monitoring, but expanded to include other MDG goals, which was fine because we were monitoring. We were part of many other conferences outside of Social Dev.
Correct,
We
oo.
were there for the Women's Conference. Gani was there for
Yung mga environment.
UNCED, United
Oo,
Nations Conference
right,
on Environment Development. They were all incorporated
Climate
sa
change,
MDG.
oo.
Exactly. So, tama lang.
Okay.
So, we were part of the MDG. So, we transformed into MDG monitoring. And then in 2015, when that MDG agenda transformed into the SDG agenda, we went into that SDG agenda as well. But what is the running thread around that was really our commitment to push for more transformative processes, no, mechanisms to ensure social, economic, and environmental justice, if you like, and really promote equality.
So, nandun tayo sa results and processes talaga.
Right,
no?
right.
Mahalaga din yung process.
Right.
Ang haba pala ng history.
Yeah,
And
yes.
now, Social Watch Bale will be around 20 years.
I know.
30.
30.
Oo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
We're so busy, doing this all the work.
Hindi
We've
ka na
forgotten.
makasama.
We've forgotten we're turning 30.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So we're what? Middle-aged na?
Kasi nga may MDG ka na, may SDG ka pa. That's
Exactly.
30 nga eh.
That's
And you were even
right.
older than MDGs.
Yeah, we precede the MDGs.
Oo, perceive pa.
That's right. That's right.
Kumbaga, social watch is nasa trentahin na po. Gen Z
We are middle-aged years.
Tahin na ang Social Watch yan.
Exactly. That means that half of our lifetime, if you like,
Mm-hmm.
has been with the with Social Watch.
Yeah.
Exactly. Many of us, no, have devoted
Correct.
half of our lives.
Hindi pa ito pinapanganak.
Pero parang kailan lang.
Oo, di ba?
Parang we still feel young, and there's still we've done a lot, but we still have so much work.
They're just numbers.
I know they're just a number.
Pero nabanggit niyo po, yun na nga po, di ba, na parang ang dami nang nangyari, pero there's a lot of things na kailangan pa nating gawin. Pero so far po, for that 30 years, so ano po yung sa tingin po natin, maybe 2 to 3 accomplishments na natin, yes.
Milestones.
Okay, so one of our immediate tasks in terms of the monitoring and watchdogging, if you like, was to come up with a citizens report on the fulfillment of the commitments. So we came out with what we call the shadow report. Right. Started out
Annual
as a
yan,
shadow.
di ba?
Yeah.
Oo.
It was and we should show the photos later
Oo.
on.
We
di ba?
will.
Yeah, kasi ang dami nating
Daming libro
published
nun.
books,
Yes,
shadow
books.
report of the status of Philippine commitments on social debt on the World Summit, and then later on the MDGs, and then later on the SDGs. We would come out with that periodically,
Yeah.
and we would publish it, present it to government agencies, including the United Nations.
Tsaka hindi lang sa monitoring of numbers, ito sa analysis
Yeah.
of the
Yes.
accomplishments,
Exactly.
what happened behind the scenes. mga
Yes.
ganyan.
So, what the Philippine government has accomplished, as you said, what have been the issues and challenges? Because we're also using government, by and large, we use government data. No? But looking at the numbers, we're using our citizens' perspective,
Right.
especially from voices and perspectives from below, and what those numbers mean for their lives, right?
And singit lang ako, that's the importance of Social Watch being an alliance or a network. Kasi ang members ay coming from NGOs,
Yes.
mga support NGOs, even community-based
Yes.
organizations
Yes.
who work talaga with the local populations,
yeah.
groups, communities. So, ang boses hindi lang nanggagaling sa mga professionals,
Yes.
academics, but really from
Exactly.
mothers,
Yes.
rural women,
Yeah.
farmers,
Exactly.
fishers,
Yes. That's
value
right.
ng social watch.
Yeah, because there are many other watchdogs, and many of them are comprised of technocrats, as you said, academics, and they have a value.
Yes, yes,
because
of
they
course.
provide a technical and substantive
yes.
perspective. But I think what is distinct about Social Watch is that we provide a platform for citizens who have lenses, from perspectives from below, across various sectors,
Yeah.
looking at the same phenomenon.
Yeah, that's important to know that.
Exactly, looking at the same phenomenon. What has been the impact of the DOH programs within a year? DepEd, within a year. What does that mean for indigenous peoples? What does that mean for mothers in poor communities? What does that mean for students, diba?
Right.
Um,
Youth pa pala. No?
Exactly. And so, we collectively work together and look at the data and then go back to our own respective lived experience and try to make sense about how much has that helped or not helped in terms of improving our lot in life, and then coming up with the necessary recommendations. Diba? So we're not just complaining or exposing. We try to come up with constructive
Yeah. Right.
recommendations,
And-
feedback.
For the most part, government listens, di ba?
Yes, yes. In a way,
They value also the work
yes.
of social watch.
and as a testament to that, Social Watch Philippines has been invited, to present our analysis, our findings, and recommendations to the Committee on Appropriations in Congress, to the Senate Finance
Right.
Committee. We have been invited as members of up until early in the 90s, up until 2017, you had the Multisectoral Committee on International Human Development Commitments convened by NEDA.
Wala na yan.
It
The
went
chamber.
defunct
Okay.
in 2017, and it was reborn as the chamber.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for the longest time, we were integral members of that.
At hindi lang yan sa bansa
bodies.
natin. Even at regional level,
Yes.
invited ang Social Watch Philippines sa
To
iba't
present.
ibang
Yes, to present
its
our findings,
shadow reports,
our shadow reports. So after the shadow reports, eventually they became the spotlight reports.
Oh, yeah, spotlight.
Nag-iiba yung names, but basically
Ah,
basically it's a reporting of government's performance
by civil society.
by civil society and community groups. And there have been many other efforts, other groups who are doing that now,
Right.
and we work with them.
Oo, ang tingin ko rin, na-appreciate ko rin yung, halimbawa, ang Civil Society Network for Education Reforms, or ENET, is a member of, or is part of Social Watch. By itself, ENET also does budget advocacy with DepEd, presents its findings or its recommendations to DepEd, and even to the Congress, and gets invited to regional level conferences where it also presents its analysis of education budget reforms or recommendations or accomplishments, and critique also. So, para sa akin, parang nilay down
Yeah.
ng Social Watch or nakatulong yung Social Watch for these other
Yes.
networks or individual organizations to do their own
Yes,
advocacy work.
Yes. So added to that, when we started, this was because if Social Watch was born in 1996, 97 after the World Summit. Abby was born in 2006,
Oh, yeah.
2007. And how did that come about? I was there in the very first meetings before I left to do my master's. But prior to that, we were sitting around the table and we were saying, here we are pushing for all of these policy reforms across various agencies. But ultimately, it also redounds to financing.
Okay.
And in 2001, nagkaroon ng Financing for Development Conference
Right.
sa United Nations,
FFD.
And Social Watch Philippines heavily engaged in that process. And we in fact convened a Philippine network to engage FFD, the very first FFD, which was held in Monterrey, Mexico. So we convened and came up and crafted a Philippine agenda for the very first FFD conference. So it had to do with debt, trade, aid, and many other sub-thematic areas around financing. So we were part of that, So later on, when we said we want to get more financing for health, education, and all that, because at the end of the day, they'll keep asking you, legislators will ask you, fine, that's all very well, but where will we get the funds? We better have something to say. And so we said, why don't we talk to some friendly legislators in Congress to sort of give us ideas on how we can engage. And at that time, the ones most open to us were legislators in the political opposition.
Okay.
So-called Young Turks. No? Erin Tanyada.
Oh, yeah.
At that time, si PG Gingona.
Sila yung mga open.
Yan yung mga open na nasa political opposition to the administration at that time. And so they were open to alternative proposals. No? And so we sat with them and they said, go ahead, come up with your proposals and then give it to us. We'll champion it in Congress. So, I have to credit the very person who really pioneered this for us.
Okay.
And that was Professor Leonor Briones.
Okay, yes.
As our lead convener. We must remember that Liling Briones is a fiscal expert. She was the treasurer of the Commission on Audit in the 90s. She eventually became the treasurer of the Philippine government.
National treasurer.
Exactly, the national treasurer. She was one of the earliest chair of the Freedom from Debt Coalition. She was on the board and became chair, I think, of the Focus on the Global South.
She was
very active.
also board of PRRM.
Exactly. So, there are very few individuals who have the capacity to straddle academe, civil society and social movements, and government, who can, tumawid sa lahat ng yan.
At any point in time.
Exactly. And so, what she did was that she said, okay, if we want to go into this, we also we need to study
Nice.
the budget process. Now, the budget documents are really voluminous. They're about this thick, diba? Volume 1 pa lang yan. May volume 2, volume 3, volume 4. Iba yan. Yeah. So, we had to study how to and learn all of these studying all of these technical documents, but again, using our respective lens, our political lens for education, for health, for our citizens, diba? And so we had to, learn the what was special purpose funds, what do we mean by agency budgets, and all that. And then apart from learning all that, we had to study the protocols of engaging the Congress, how to talk to a legislator, what to wear when you enter.
Ganon?
Yes. Outfit. Language, diba?
Right. Pero necessary kasi
necessary if you want to be effective. So we learned that through capacity building sessions, we had trainings, and then on the job. There's eventually the best way is to itapon mo lang yung mga sarili mo. Do it, get there. Mataba ka, ako madapa, but use it as a learning. And so it was great because we were working with groups like ENET, like with sa health groups, like Action, of course, Action for Economic Reforms, yung Health Justice, kasi their area is preventive
Just Mercy
health,
Pablos, no?
Mercy Pablos, Woman Health.
Women health.
Yeah, mga feminist, mga very, very fierce feminists who wanted to really see how women's rights found its way into the budget. But these are all, a lot of us were so informal, we're so fierce. Many of us were not used to entering the domain of the very formal domain of and protocol, the world of legislation.
Oo.
But eventually, we learned, no?
Oo.
We learned the
And
tricks of
became
the
so
trade.
effective.
And became so effective. I remember when we were pushing for the universal healthcare law in 2018, 2019.
Palakpakan niya.
Yeah, we attended a big session in the Senate. All of the CSOs were here. So we were all here. All of the doctors, not sila dressed in white here. And then the tobacco industry and all of they were all there. They were all there. The pharmaceutical industry, they were all there. So and then the legislators. And I remember when Mercy Fabros made an intervention, they asked, we were asked to speak. Pinagalitan niya everyone in the room.
Only Mercy?
Only Mercy Fabros. And she got away with it because they were treating her like a grandmother, a wise old grandmother who knew, and she had the credentials,
Right.
she's been at the forefront of all of the struggles.
Oh,
And it was, sabi ko, only Mercy Fabros will get away with this. Pinagalitan niya lahat ng mga senators around the table, mga lahat.
Sana naka-ano yun,
I
video.
know. It was a proud moment for all of us. Kasi talagang days before, this was the health cluster naman. We met and said, ito yung agenda ng CSOs for the universal healthcare. What are our bottom lines? What are our non-negotiables? Pagpasok sa legislative battle on the universal healthcare law. So it was really a proud moment because we spoke as one. And Mercy was she led the charge at that time. And we had allies I remember Yusek Mario Villaverde at DOH kasi pareho naman ang gusto natin
Correct.
By and large, they saw us as their allies. Even in DepEd, they saw us.
Yeah,
Sa anong ginagawa natin?
correct.
We're usually asking for increases in the budgets of DepEd, the budgets for DOH, and the budgets for
Hindi naman sila
DSWD.
kinokontra. In fact, it's support for
In fact, ang
them.
ginagawa pa minsan nila, binubulungan tayo. Kasi hindi nila masabi sa boss nila. So, binubulungan tayo.
Pwede niyo bang i-recommend to?
Pa-increase naman to, pa-increase na naman to. So, kami naman, syempre, we would more than happily say it. So, talagang I think they were, in a way, we were able to build trust and respect with our
Kahit ako rin nung
colleagues.
sa INET, we met for a budget advocacy a meeting with DepEd. USEC pa nun si USEC Ana Sevilla, I think.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Tapos, very effective nung meeting. Tapos, parang siguro sa maraming taon na nag-meet ang INET and DepEd for budget work, na gets na nila yung process. So, nung nakaupo ako sa meeting na yung first time kong upo, parang, galing! May comparative matrix na sila ng proposed budget, ng DepEd budget, and what should be.
Yes.
So, galing.
Galing. Si Ana Sevilla was a student of Lilin.
Oo daw.
Sa
Favorite
NCPAG.
daw niya yan. Professor!
Yeah, exactly. So, we have ang ganda na. So,
Ang
you see how the personal and professional metamorphosis of people whose hearts and minds are in the right place. So, whether in CSO or in government, if you have a shared aspiration, kasi ang dali Ang problema, pag naiiba ang nagiging objective. And so you have a waste of public resources.
Right.
But if you have a meeting of the minds with, then as you're saying, ang dulas ng synergy.
Ang dulas talaga.
Yeah.
Parang, tapos. Kasi parehong iniisip natin, pareho yung layunin natin.
Exactly.
Diba?
Yeah.
Galing. So, ang dami ng milestone.
Yeah,
ang
that's
dami.
for a longest time.
Hindi pa lahat yun. Ang dami pang
Yan
iba.
ang naalala ko.
Yan na yun.
Pero at least,
Pero parang nagme-memory lane ako.
Di ba? Ang ganda. Ako din. Ako din. Na-appreciate ko yung mga kinukwento.
Yeah. So for the longest time po talagang, kaya effective yung Social Watch Philippines is because we are surrounded with like-minded people para gawin talaga kung ano yung nararapat at ano yung pinaka-objective natin, why we're building this and why we're doing this in the first place. Danaw naman po ang pag-uusapan natin. Like parang, what's the current initiatives of Social Watch Philippines with what's happening right now with the budget issues po?
Right. So, we have been doing this budget engagement since 2006, 2007. And, year in and year out,
Yeah.
whether there's funding or none, committed na tayo dyan no? So, we continue to do that. And, there have been two major milestones in recent Philippine history na nagpumutok yung issue ng corruption. So, there was the 2013 scandal, Napoles.
Yes,
scandal,
yes, yes.
Yeah, and then there was that Million People's March. And then, itong last year.
Trillion.
Ngayon, trillion.
Ngayon, trillion.
Yan.
Anong
Oo,
dati?
dati, million. Ngayon, trillion People's March, di ba? At talagang na-mobilize ang masang Pilipino, if you like. And so, in those specific moments, medyo nagiging more relevant than usual yung trabaho natin sa Social Watch. Because one of the things we do, apart, and Kai knows this as a stalwart of ENEP, is we don't just push for proposals for increased funding for social spending, agriculture, and all that. When when legislators tell us, okay, that's well and fine, but where will we get the money? May sagot na rin tayo because we identify what parts in the budget are highly susceptible to or vulnerable to corruption, are bloated, represent red flags, or are simply not as important as the ones that we are advocating for. So we're able to identify all that, and many of them are really sources of corruption. So every time nagpumutok yung million People's March in 2013, at ito ngayon sa flood control scandal at trillion People's March, we were always ready for, actually, sa totoo lang, nandyan yung sources of corruption. For example, yung special purpose funds, which are lump sum appropriations, no? Which hardly have any details that describe what it's about, are always there, that run into the hundreds of millions. And these fall under presidential discretion and control, particularly of the president. So these SPFs have been a major source of campaigning ng Social Watch. Now, these are highly vulnerable. So special purpose funds, SPFs. And then, of course, last year, naging central focus naman ang unprogrammed appropriations.
Yeah, UA.
Another source of corruption. But the difference between SPF and UA, yung UA, technically speaking, wala pang budget yon. These are budget items that will only be financed under certain conditions when, for example, there is excess revenue due to, pagpasok ng non-tax sources of income, or if there are new foreign loans, so magkakaroon ng dagdag na pera ang gobyerno, doon mo lang ipapand yung UA. Pero na-corrupt yun kasi yung proseso na yun last year, na mukhang nagbawas sila ng budget from other allocations, nilagay sa UA. Diba? Which is actually highly irregular. In fact, just a few days ago, we have some legislators who have filed a case in court asking the Supreme Court to declare unprogrammed appropriations as unconstitutional. Diba? Pero ang sinasabi naman natin ngayon sa Social Watch, sa analysis natin, medyo natuto na sila na unprogrammed funds nagiging source ng corruption. Kaya nakita namin, ang laki ng source ng pork barrel ngayon, wala sa unprogrammed Although meron pa rin. Ang laki na ngayon na nakita namin sa program. At ang nakakatakot sa program, assured ang funding.
Oo nga.
Kasi nasa GAA. And we saw at least 319 billion pesos worth of pork
na nasa program.
Na nasa 2026 budget ngayon.
Paano yun?
Paano yun?
Oo.
So
andyan na.
In fact, before the president signed the budget, nanawagan publicly ang Social Watch to ask the president to engage and do a line veto of the 2026 budget. In other words, to veto certain specific budget line items. Hindi naman lahat. Pero and we identified this. In fact, I spoke in a Senate Finance Committee hearing, and we told Senator Gatchalian, or Sherwin Gatchalian, patanggal nga to, ito kasi duplicate to dito. We told them, ito overlapping. Ito, ganyan. We itemized to the tune of 319 billion. And we thought there was openness
Yeah.
no? Significantly. May content, and it was also in that context we presented si Senator Ping Lacson kasi I must give him, we must acknowledge that his office spent one entire day listening to Social Watch's findings and recommendations. So lahat nandun ang INET, nandun ang health groups natin. We, all of our groups came together to make that presentation. And so I think that a lot of our gains, kasi naghahanap din naman sila ng wins, budget wins for the people. So na-entertain din. Kaya if you're asking me what are some of the gains, for example, sa education, this is an INET victory.
Yes.
You want to be the one to say it?
Ikaw na.
Okay. Nag-notes lang naman ako. So madami tayong nakuha, no?
Right,
For budget for child protection program. Sa President's budget, 44 million lang yan. Umakyat siya, it doubled to 89 million. No? Working with legislators. Yung alternative learning systems, umakyat, no? From 645 million to 897 million. Again, working with legislators. IP education, madrasa education, significantly increased, no? Ang IP, 80 million increase, 80 million pesos.
So plus 80.
Plus 80. Madrasa education plus 26 billion from the President's budget. So we have allies in the legislature who pushed for this. And and so sa DSWD naman, yung supplemental feeding program, na ipasok natin.
Yes. Ang INET na nandiyan.
Exactly. Ang INET nandito. Sa DOJ, na ipasok din natin, for example, yung dagdag na budget for the National Coordination Center that's fighting or combating yung online sexual abuse for exploitation of children, including yung mga materials na naganap. So these are just some of the, SISAM. So some of the gains na we're happy to report. Pero madami din na ipasok na pork. Ang laki nga, 319 billion at the very least. And if you look at, I have my, I spoke in a press con this morning.
This morning?
Yeah. So,
Kaya may PowerPoint.
Yeah, nandito yung ko. So we have 319 billion worth of pork na ipasok sa agency budgets, sa DPWH, sa DA, sabi nga nila tinagal kasi lahat ng flood control.
Okay.
Na may pagka-knee-jerk. Because kailangan pa rin natin ng flood control. Kailangan lang talaga mas i-monitor. Pero knee-jerk, they took it all out. So, kawawan, there goes tayo.
Exactly.
Pagdating ng bagyo season, di ba? But having said that, sabi nila, the new flood control would be fund to market roads sa DA.
Right.
Ang laki. Tapos, ang laki din ng pera ng special purpose funds which fall under the presidential discretion. So, tignan nyo naman, under Disaster Risk and Management Fund, may 15 billion disaster fund. And then, many of these funds na ipasok na lang sa BICAM, mga BICAM insertions. Hindi dumaan sa House, hindi dumaan sa Senate.
Ano na sila?
Nang nag-meeting na. Oo. So nagugulat tayo. Sa CHED, meron din na ipasok ng House, wala. Hindi naman hiningi ng agency. Yan yung nakakagulat. Hindi hiningi ng agency, pero makikita mo sa House pinasok. For CHED, additional 2.7 billion, wala sa diyan sa CHED. In fact, yung assistance, sinasabi nila, for Filipino students, for higher enrollment, for higher education institution participation, nandun So why will the House push this? So red flag yan. Diba? Ganon din yan dito Ganon din yan sa, ganon din yan sa DA. Wala naman sa DA budget na 18.9 billion.
For FMR.
farm to market
Oo,
roads.
oo.
It was only inserted during the BICAM.
Oo.
Diba? So it did not go through public scrutiny in the House
Okay, okay.
hearings or in the Senate hearings. Nag-usap na lang sa BICAM. Diba? And yung BICAM naman, hindi 100% naintindihan natin anong nangyayari doon eh. And I will explain why later. Diba?
So yung binabagit mo kanina na sa agencies pumasok yung...
Pumasok.
Mm-mm.
Pero hindi ang agency ang nag-request.
Oo, right.
Pumasok na lang
Sa
na either
BICAM.
in-insert sa House or in-insert sa Senate or in-insert sa BICAM. Diba? Minsan pa nga, yung in-insert sa House na wala sa agency, itong amount. Tapos, iaakyat ng Senate. Tapos, dapat sa BICAM, i-harmonize na lang. Magugulat na lang kami yung actual amount, mas mataas pa sa dalawa. Eh, dapat hina-harmonize na
right.
lang.
Either lower or somewhere,
yes,
or yung
in the
higher.
middle, or higher. Yung amount,
Mas
higher
mataas
between the two. Magugulat na lang kami. Diba? So these are what has been happening.
Nakikita ko, Marivic, parang the work that you do to be
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
Identify.
Not just
identify,
Alam mo yung mga
analyze,
kasama
read.
natin,
Oo.
kasi sometimes it
Grabe.
runs until 2 in the morning, 3
Oo,
in the
eh.
morning. So yung mga, I have to acknowledge the hard work of my colleagues. Kasi hindi naman ako gising until 2 in the
Yeah.
morning watching. Pero yung mga
Like which
kasama ko,
colleagues?
I know, sina Alce,
Yeah,
sina Liza
Alce,
Martinez.
yeah.
Diba? Nagugulat sila eh.
Oo.
For example,
parang ganito nila yung budget, ano?
yeah.
Like the back of their hand.
Exactly. Like for example, and I want to give special mention to this kasi medyo masakit eh sa loob.
Mm-mm.
Yung budget for, nasa na ba yun? Ito, yung Climate Change Commission got an additional 23 million. On the face, maganda naman. Diba? Pero saan galing yung additional budget ng 23 million? At nakita to sa live stream kasi that part, hindi tinanggal yung mic. So narinig yung mga kasama natin. Alam mo kung saan galing yung 23 million additional? From the NCIP budget ng Region 10 office. Ang liit-liit na nga ng budget ng NCIP.
Region 10. Sa Mindanao.
Region 10, this is their budget for Domain Land Recognition, Management and Development Services, and IP Human Rights, Legal and Basic Social Services. May budget yan na around 23 million.
Tinanggal.
Sabi nila, ay, maliit naman ang absorptive capacity. Kunin na lang natin, ibigay natin sa Climate Change Commission. What? For what? For the Philippine Pavilion. For the upcoming 2026 UN Climate Change Conference. So tinanggalan yung budget ng NCIP Region 10 sa pag-construct ng Philippine Pavilion. I mean, it's this little, if you didn't know this, sasabihin mo, yay, may budget ang Climate Change Commission.
But no.
Additional. But no.
Oh,
Diba?
Oh my God.
Kasi ang natanggalan eh. And then, you know, so...
And in fact, yung pinag-usapan nga natin doon sa January 8 workshop, yung titling, yung recognition of ancestral
Exactly.
domain.
Parang ang sinasabi ng kasama natin.
Oo, how much was it?
only one land
Alright.
title is processed
Per region.
per region,
Oo,
per year.
Oo, sa budget na binibigay.
Yes.
But, nag-average ang per region ng...
Over 50.
Oo,
thereabouts.
parang ganyan.
Pinakamaliit po na ano is 11.
11.
So what more for other
Oo,
regions?
Exactly.
diba?
Exactly.
Naalala mo.
Yeah. So,
okay.
so that's the first type of...
Dapat paramihin ang mga tao ng social watch.
Ha?
Dapat paramihin ang mga, you know.
Alam mo, lahat to pro bono. There is no... This is really for the love of country. Diba?
Na-imagine ko si Alce, di ba? Parang
Yeah.
nahahay siya pag ito yung
Yes.
pinag-usapan.
Sabihin pa niya sa akin, Marivic, mamaya pwede bang sabihin mo rin to? Ganyan, kasi talagang inis na inis ako. Sige, Alce, pero hindi pala, hindi na siya bagay sa presentation ko, but go.
Pero,
Kasi nakakainis
kasi
naman
kailangan
talaga.
maging personal din talaga tong...
You need to be passionate.
Yeah, oo.
So that the numbers come alive.
Right, right,
There's a
right.
story behind the numbers. And if you know the story, then you become passionate.
Oo.
You become engaged, fully
Oo.
engaged.
Unti-unti naman talaga may
Yeah.
nag-engage, di ba? Pero, pag nalaman mo pa yung mga gantong detalye, di ba?
Yeah.
Angry.
Angry.
Yeah.
And then, do you want me to continue?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oo.
So the other type
Pang
of...
3 episodes na to.
Okay. Sige, buti na lang, kanina lang yung press
Oo.
con.
Oh,
Hindi si
diba?
press con.
Oh, diba?
Anyway, so the other type of pork na talagang nakakagalit no, ay yung tinatawag na yung trapong poor, na ginamit talaga ang pondo for social protection, or more popularly known as ayuda.
Oh, yeah. Oo.
Diba? Na ginamit for patronage, to promote patronage politics. Diba?
Nakakagalit din eh.
Yes. Kasi ito talaga, first of all, why do we need social protection, di ba? Sa lahat na naman bansa, recognize that everyone, all citizens, everyone, go through several risks in life. Di ba? Whether natural, human, or social disasters. And we have to make sure that a person and that the population live a certain standard of living, of well-being, so that when that calamity or disaster hits, you do not fall below that decent standard of living. And that's where social protection comes in, to provide you that means to live a dignified life, well-being. Kaya ang government at pinaglaban ng mamamayan to, naglalaan talaga sila ng social protection programs, which oftentimes take the form of cash transfers, either as social safety nets or social assistance programs. There are other types, but I'll focus on this, no? Yung cash assistance, cash transfers. And normally naman, in the past, itong mga cash transfers na to, ang nagbibigay ay yung mga institutions.
Right, like the SWD.
Like the SWD, like DOLE, all that. We noticed that in recent times, many of these cash transfers have been politicized and weaponized to promote personal, political, narrow interests. How? For citizens to access these cash transfers, they need to go through, kailangan sila magmalimos at lumuhod sa mga politiko at humingi ng guarantee letters para maka-avail ng cash assistance or cash transfers nito. Na in the past, hindi naman masyadong nagagawa. Although, there was always a bit of that there. Pero talagang
parang
ngayon,
institutionalize.
Ngayon, parang nakita natin na baboy na talaga ang cash transfers, itong mga social protection funds or ayuda funds na to the point that when you say ayuda in certain circles, tingin nila, pork barrel kagad eh. Sa totoo lang, as tayo naman ay social development advocate, naniniwala na tayo na karapatan natin ang social protection, including those cash transfers. Especially because yung funding na yon galing sa buwis ng mamamayan. Pera natin yan. So may karapatan tayo na i-avail yan at i-enjoy yan for our well-being.
To level the playing field,
and all that. Yeah, exactly. So, pero ang problema, yung ibang mga politiko, ang tingin nila sa pera na yan, pera nila, galing sa bulsa nila. At tingin nila na dahil galing sa bulsa nila, binibigay nila yon out of the goodness of their hearts. No? So, they personalize it as if it came from their own personal pockets. Second, they're also using that cash transfer as a source of corruption. At may mga COA reports na
magkaiba yun,
na yung perang lumabas, hindi nila account. Kasi tinitignan nila sila ng beneficiaries. In the instances na may beneficiaries list pa. Kasi ngayon wala na. In many instances, wala nang beneficiary list. Walang mga listahan. Pinamimigay na lang. But in instances na may beneficiary list, hindi lang ma-account ang laki ng disparity between yung nailustay
at yung
bilang na nakakakuha. So nakita nila ang laki ng nawawala. So these are the two sources. So ang nakikita ngayon natin, there are three particular types of funding ngayon sa national budget na talagang in a way nababoy.